Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, TheRumpledOne, coming to you on Wednesday, May the 17th. The year's 2023. Let's talk trading. Losing to win with Walmal. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine and differ from Walmal's. Walmal, yesterday I spoke with the traders about losing the win, how sometimes you like to say, you see, if I would have taken the small loss, I could have then went, the other way and made more money instead of, fighting and only making a few pips.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, that's so easy to say. We're on so many different levels. It's so easy to say because on one level it's sort of like, yeah, obviously, that's your hairy hindsight, going and saying that. That's number one. Number two, when you're in a trade, let's just be honest, it's hard to go and cut. It's hard to go and take the loss and just say, hey, that's just what it is, nobody likes to be a loser. Everybody wants to be a winner, right?
Right.
And so when you press that exit button and you're underwater, what are you? You're a loser.
Yep. No, you're not a loser. The trade loss. See, and that's
that's exactly right.
And that's one of the things I was telling the traders that that it really, when you exit the trade, it doesn't have any meaning until you get that action has no meaning. You give it meaning. So, like you said, if if you have a losing trade, you're a loser, that's a real ego blow, and that'll cause you to want to protect yourself. So self-talk is so important.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's funny because some of the guys out there know that I used to do a bunch of counseling, and I do have a master's in psychology. And I was actually talking to somebody yesterday who was pretty down on some mistakes that he made in his life recently. And, what I had to do is go and remind him, hey, just because you made a mistake here, it doesn't negate all the positive things that you've done prior to that, and it doesn't negate all the positive things going into the future. And I think that there's a real, implication in terms of that, in terms of trading. You take your loss, you take a small loss, you're able to go and deal with it and just take the small loss. It doesn't negate all the nice things that happened prior, and it doesn't negate what positively could have happened, what could happen in a positive sense going into the future. The problem is exactly what you said, the self-talk. It all revolves around how are you going to deal with it. Are you going to be, you took the loss, are you going to be afraid to take the next one when the next opportunity presents itself? And a lot of us are. And we got to get over that. Say, hey, this one trade doesn't define my life. It doesn't define my trading life and my trading career. It's just a reality. It's just the way it is. If you want to use baseball for a moment or two, think about this. You go and hit. Let's say you're in the major leagues for 15 years. You're in the MLB, Major League Baseball, and you're a hitter, and that's what you are. And you're in an average field. You're not great, you're not terrible, but you're just great. I'd rather you just, average. And you get up to the plate, and you hit 333. That means you get a hit every third time. That means you fail 2 times out of 3. Okay, that's one way of looking at it. Or you can look at it as that you're successful 1 time out of 33. Well, I guarantee you, after 15 years in the major leagues, being an average fielder, hitting 333, 5 years after you retire, you will be in the Hall of Fame. You will be considered one of the greatest hitters that ever, played the game of baseball. Well, trading can be like that, You just got to be willing to go and say, hey, and accept the fact that you're going to take losses and, go and when you get your wins, go and maximize them to the best of your ability. There's lots of ways to maximize that. You can maximize that by going and making sure that you get enough pips to cover your losses. That's one thing. One way of doing it. Another way of doing it is like what I do. Is like I just go and try to just get in on all the trades I possibly can, as best as I can, and filter out the ones that just don't look like it's my trade, and try to go and, increase my batting average, so to speak, and just take those opportunities. And maybe I'm not going for the, 8, 10, 15 pippers, but I'm going for the 2, 3, 4, 5 pippers, and you just have to go and maximize what you're good at and just cut your losses when you have to cut your losses. TRO and I were in 2 different trades today where, it's sort of like I think I said to TRO, we would have stayed in that trade, could have picked up an extra, 5, 10 pips on this. And that happened twice to us, all within probably a period of maybe 30 minutes. But that's not my style of trading, But at the same time, going back to the premise of this video, the funny thing is that it's on that trade, on both those trades, if I was would have cut my losses, taken like a 2 or 3 pip loss, and gone the other way, I could have made a bunch of pips and then had the opportunity to go back in my original direction and made a whole lot more pips, and so here I am saying this is what we should be doing, and I didn't do it 2 times in a row, but all within about a period of 30 minutes, But that's, that's progress that I need to go and make in my trading career, and and probably most of us who listen to the video probably can say the same thing. You just got to go and just hey, just accept it, So like just take the small jab on the chin so that you can go and take the pips on the next opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny because what I had saw was price had entered the wick zone, so it was like I shorted it, but then again it it reversed, and then when it came back down through it, I exited with a small profit, but had I stayed in, it came right back down to there. So that second trade that I had shorted, I think I was short around 69, would have handed me a few more pips.
Yeah, and that's part of trading. That's part of what we do.
Right.
And you just have to accept it. It just didn't work out, as the way that you'd like to have worked out. But that's okay. We'll just take it and move on and take our losses where we have to take our losses and take our wins where we can, and and just try to have it not affect your attitude, because that's the thing. We got to make sure it doesn't affect our attitude.
Yeah.
Because the moment it affects our attitude, then we're not going to take trades. Or worse than not taking the trade is we're going to go and overtrade. And you can overtrade either by lot sizes that are way too big for your account, or just taking trades that don't make sense, that really aren't making the criteria.
Right. Because see, right now I'm wanting to short out of that previous day's wick zone, because here's the yesterday's low right here at 2464.8 or 1.24648 if you want to be precise. But and then see there it dropped off of that level again.
Yep. And that's just what it does, and it's sort of like we both got so aggravated, on one of the trades where, what happened was that when you finally hit my point where I could get out with a nice little profit, and just did what it just did just there, where it just literally, 1 or 2 ticks goes and eliminates all the profit and puts me in the red again, and the thing is, that's part of this whole psychology thing too, is that, they don't have a map right to, Walmal's screen to know exactly what he's doing, and I'm going to change the charts for him, because that's just reality of not what happens. That's just the way the market moves, and we just have to be willing to accept that, and sometimes it's just what happens, and just deal with it,
Yeah.
And again, I know it's easy to say that, but
And it just rejected off that level again. Be good for another pip.
Yep. Just so the traders know, when you were doing your intro, I went and entered at, I got into a trade at 61.2, and it shows you, foolishness of it, I was up almost 4 pips. Should have gotten out, and now I'm only up like a pip. And so, you know, the foolishness of not going and taking opportunity when you should take opportunity. And that's why I'd only go for usually 1, 2, 3 pips.
Yeah, you shifted gears because you've already made core, so you're in a different mode. You're in a different, you're in a different gear right now.
Yeah, except for I should be, but I really haven't made that shift in my brain, but I should have absolutely done that, but I didn't.
I thought you were.
We'll see what happens.
You want to make more pips now.
I do, but I just, for some reason, it just didn't click. Brain fart Wednesday, I guess. I don't know. Just didn't make the shift in my brain. What I ought to do is once I make core, I ought to go and come up with a new profile, change my profile in MT4, and that way it forces me to think that way.
Yeah. Now, is there anything else you want to tell the traders about losing to win?
No, just other than the fact that I'll use my famous expression, if you get out of the trade, and you take a small loss and you've maintained your gunpowder, you've now got gunpowder to go for the next trade. If you stay in the trade, your gunpowder is being used up and you can't do anything. You get handcuffed. That's the other part of being in. Just taking a small loss, moving on, waiting for the next opportunity. And that's by doing that, you're able to go and move on and take the next opportunity that comes along. Because if you're in a trade and you're in a loss, you may not have the account size to allow you to take another trade to where you can make some money. And so because of that, and if you are a U.S. broker, if you're a U.S. citizen on a U.S. broker, you may not be able to go and even go in the other direction, even though it's not really a hedge. The brokers will consider it a hedge, and because of that, they won't allow you to take the trade.
Right.
So that's my 2 cents on the idea of cutting losses.
Yeah, and you can see that.
Cutting them with us while they're small.
That wick zone would have paid off again, a couple of pips or more. It's also kind of a slow day because we don't have any big news.
Yeah, and that's the thing this week. We really don't have any big news at all. Tomorrow there's one red news, and there's unemployment claims at 8:30 in the morning. And then on Friday, if I recall, there was something at 11 a.m. And all that is Powell's going to be speaking. Now, thing is, you got to remember, June's coming quick, and we're going to have that rate change in June. So he tends to telegraph out there sometimes what's going to happen. And so when he speaks, sometimes the market will move drastically as opposed to some of the other Fed guys.
Yeah, that should be fun.
Yep, that always makes it could be fun. That's exactly right. And I think we're almost out of time, sir.
Yeah, we're getting to that point. I tell you, the fastest 15 minutes in trading, it really goes by quick sometimes. I'm just sitting here watching the price action. It's just steadily sitting here. It looks like we're going to try and hit that yesterday's low, moving up, and I think it's going to break it this time. Let's see what happens. Maybe, maybe not.
And trades, just so you know, I did get out of that trade when it came up there and hit the 65. I took my 4 pips this time.
Yeah. Oh, well, I guess.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Exactly. So, fellow traders, once again, tell us what you think about losing the win. And always remember, never forget, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out.